No, 29. I just did that. Okay, we complete that one. We've got 35 and 39, which should be across the street. 35 and 39. Okay, so we come out here, we go round there, and we come in just opposite the gas station. Good. And it's already 11:15 real time. Jump in the cab, why not? Do some cab driving for a few minutes. And then, so 2 more fields to spray. Really got on well with this one because I think we started at 6 o'clock and it's only 8. We've got all of the rest of the day to do. Temperature 9 degrees. I could theoretically set up for a couple of mowing contracts. I would have to check September 4, see what the days are, what the weather's looking like for that. But doing things like this, it gives me a chance to just drive around, have fun in Farming Simulator, and no pressure. We just get the work done. So we did start today, September 2, and knocked out 4 cultivating contracts between rain showers. Today it's supposed to rain around midnight, I believe, so it's going to be an issue. This field here is the first one, and the other one is down the path to the right. So, and this is more like what we should be spraying because it's grown some. Oh, this hasn't been fertilised at all, so got another fertilisation contract for this one coming up. Yeah, when I was really small, my paternal grandfather used to enjoy Formula One Grand Prix, so whenever we went round there on a Sunday, we'd be watching the Formula One Grand Prix. And I quite enjoyed it. And then, round about mid-Nigel Mansell's career, it started getting a bit boring. And I think up until that point, there was technical innovation on the track. And it was interesting to see what car manufacturers were doing to make their cars more efficient, to make their cars quicker or faster, quicker being acceleration, faster being top speed and handling. And round about the mid-80s, it started getting very boring because the Formula One authority, whatever they're called, basically just started saying everybody has to make carbon copies. You know, you have to have, your car has to be a certain weight, your engine size has to be a certain limit, the power output of the engine has to be a certain limit, and it was effectively everybody was almost driving the same car. At which point you turn around and you say, well, why don't I watch Formula Ford? Because everyone is driving the same car. There is very little competitive in it anymore, and there is zero innovation because you don't allow there to be. And so at that point I turned to what was known in Europe as saloon car racing. A saloon is a sedan, is what Europeans call a sedan. So basically, trunk at the back, hood at the front, cockpit in the middle. And the only things they did to those cars was they put toughened glass and a roll cage. But apart from that, it was a stock road car. It was road legal. And a racing seat, racing harness. And to be able, for a manufacturer to be able to get their car into the competition, they had to sell, it was something like 250 units in a year. And there were limitations. You were allowed to run a 2.8 litre turbocharged fuel injected engine. You were not allowed to do anything fancy to it. It was a stock engine. You could put it into a garage and tune it up so it was running perfectly. That was the only thing you were allowed to do. You weren't allowed to put fancy electronic gizmos on it or anything like that. It was a car that a normal person could walk in off the street and purchase one from a dealership. And it was exactly the same as what we were racing. And the interest there was, again, you would see this was the top of the range sports model, the V6 engine, turbocharged, all of the electronic goodies which, air conditioning, radios, DVD or CD players, all of the things. It was the most expensive car in the range. But as a viewer, you were getting to see, oh look, all the cars are coming out with anti-lock brakes, and look how much better they are capable of driving the circuits, because they're not relying on locking their brakes up and whatever. And you knew that in 3-4 years' time, the bottom of the range sedans, the family cars, would have those technological improvements on. And then round about the late 90s, the governing body of that motorsport said, the car must be street legal, but you've got to take out the anti-lock brakes, and you can't put these days, you can't put launch control in it, so you can't control. You got to turn off the traction control systems. It's allowed to be a 2.8 litre fuel injected turbocharged engine in the car that's not allowed to put out more than X amount of horsepower. And up until that point, it's whatever you could persuade the engine to give you and still be road legal. And it just started being there's so many restrictions on the cars that you're not seeing something that you could buy on, because they disallowed all of the technological innovations that the car companies were using. Every single year they would invent something new to give their car an edge. And it got boring, so I stopped watching that as well. I really don't watch any motorsports anymore. I've never been interested in NASCAR. In fact, I think the last motorsport event I went to see was Banger Racing. Now, it's not Demolition Derby. Although the cars that you will see on a Banger race are very much a similar sort of car that you would see on a Demolition Derby. Someone's gone down to a scrap heap. They've a junkyard, whatever you call them here. They've found a body shell, they've found a working engine, they've found wheels, and they've strapped it all together and turned it into a vehicle that can move. And then they race them. Now, the aim of the game is to win. So if you're riding an 8-lap race, the aim of the game is to complete 8 laps before everybody else. But it's a full contact sport. So you are allowed to ram other cars, but that can get a little bit tricky, because if you ram too many cars, you're going to damage your car and you're not going to complete 8 laps. But strategically, you are allowed to contact other cars and take them out if you want to. So there is an element of demolition derby involved, but the aim is not to be the last guy driving. The aim is to complete the number of laps, because there are, or at least at the course I went to watch, there were 3 heats of 24 cars in each heat, and then the top 8 from each of those races went into the final. And obviously, if your car was wrecked, you weren't going to make it to the final. There was more than a few cases where the final race of the day, which is where all the prize money was awarded, didn't contain 24 cars, because unfortunately at least 1 or 2 of the cars that had qualified wouldn't go, were too badly damaged to actually go anywhere. So that was kind of interesting, and it was kind of fun. You know, where is the way out? It looks like over there. Let's go that way. Looks like I should lift the weight off the ground. That's a good plan. Okay, now let's go to the last field and get paid for this one. But yeah, general sports, I've given up on it. Plus, most of the sports, as I said, I used to watch were European sports, not American sports. Okay, last one should be up by the store, and we are 11:30. That's a good time, and game time 8:26. So we've barely completed the morning here. I could, at the end of the stream, we could look at. Oh wow! Are we doing the cornfield? We are doing the cornfield, which hasn't been harvested yet. Oh, careful! Don't clip the hedge. I think we'll raise that. Okay. Yes. Let's try not to damage too much of the maize with the boom. And turn it on, and we are good to get this field done. Okay. Oh, this farmer has really missed the boat on this, because I do believe that October is when you harvest corn, so you won't be able to add any more fertilizer to this. And I think you can only do it once a month. So once I fertilise this, there will not be any opportunity to fertilise this field tomorrow. So this farmer is losing yield on this one. Alrighty, that's way too close. So yeah, Tuesday next week I have the basement inspector coming round to look for leaks, where water is coming from. Once he gets in and inspects that, I can start levelling off the baseboard, or the frames for the model railway baseboard, which will be fabulous. Last couple of weeks, having discovered the fact that the basement leaks, and I don't want to have 23 foot of benchwork clamped together in such a way that it's difficult to disconnect. This is way too close. I'll be able to finish off the permanent placement if we don't need to do any work where the benchwork is. I don't think we do. It looks like the water's coming in from the front edge of the house, and the benches are all in the centre of the basement. It's just where the water pools. So, but like I said, I prefer not to make anything reasonably permanent before we've ruled out those situations. But for the last couple of weeks I've been chopping wooden boards to size, so that as soon as I got the go, or as soon as I feel confident that I can actually do anything without having to disassemble it, all of my wooden pieces are ready to assemble now. All I have to do is drill them, screw them, and level them. And then the next problem I'm going to have is how to get sheets of 8x4 insulation board home, because my minivan is 7 foot by 3 foot 8. So you can put them in diagonally, but unfortunately that would be I can't shut the tailgate, and I can't move the front seats forward. I can fold down the middle seats, but yeah, 8 feet is a foot too long. So I'm either going to need to rent or find someone with an 8-foot truck pickup and no rain. Or I could get it delivered. I actually did that the other month. Oh yes, that's right. Mrs. Osa wanted like 16 bags of soil, and it's like, it's going to take me about 4 trips in the minivan to get that much weight home. And paying an extra $15 when you consider the price of soil is a very little percentage to get it shipped, or get it delivered. So a guy in a small pickup turned up with 16 bags of soil and stuck them in the patio in the backyard, which was rather convenient. So buying some 8x4 plasterboard or insulation board is probably what I'm going to end up doing for this. Okay, where's the exit? It's probably over here. It's definitely looking like a good way to go. Alrighty. So let's get paid for doing that, and we have 34,000. Okay, I'm going to look and see. No. No. Yes, the bank. Our total repayment is 35,207. We have 34,000. So I need another. I think our daily cost is something like 500 at most. So if I can get our bank balance up to about 37,000, we can actually we can actually run out the end of this month. And survive to next month. Whee! Magic. Didn't get hit by anything. That was awesome. Oh, and it's actually not far to the start of our farm because we own this field just here, which is full of grass. Full of fertilised grass. Perfectly prepared, but since they don't grow weeds, we suffer the weed penalty, or the not weeding penalty, on environmental score. It's one of the reasons why environmental score, it's a bonus. It's not something you should chase because in all likelihood you're never going to make it. 100 is pretty much impossible, and if you chase 100 you're going to get poor yields because it wants you to spray herbicide, which doesn't do your crops any good. Even spot spray doesn't, your yield is going to be a little bit poor because of it. So that grass field on our left, 107, that might be up for a contract, and if it is, I might do that next stream. Might look around for a couple of grass contracts that we can just knock out. That will assure us enough money to make it through the end of the month. I think for now I'm done. I'm definitely done with the sprayer, and we're almost done. It's actually quite a heavy usage. We got through 3,000 litres of herbicide today. So I do have like 14,000 litres in that tank, so it's not like we're not going to be able to get our barley field fertilised later next month. Alright. I'm going to put this away. So next week we just have the stream on Saturday. No more holidays until Labour Day? I always get confused, but in Britain the end of summer holiday is last Monday in August, and in America it's the first Monday in September. So that would be our next holiday stream, assuming everything else is good. I do think Mrs. Osa wants to take a trip to Ohio, and I might actually, I don't know. We might be going the weekend before. And I think for a change I would like to come home early and still have a couple of days, oh no, is it 90%? A couple of days rest and relaxation before I have to go back to work. I hate driving, 4 hours getting home, or 8 hours getting home very late, and then you go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, you got to be at work. Kind of like a chance to rest and relax. Vacations are supposed to be relaxing, but when you have to drive 400 miles, it's not relaxing, that last day. Okay, so that's that tractor done. I think it's time for me to wander over here and go into the house for breakfast, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with the rest of the day. Don't want that, don't want that. So 107 is our adjacent field, yes. It is set for tedding and baling. I'm not... Creating hay isn't the greatest. Creating... that is good because we can do that with our mower and a baler straight off, because our mower does self row. That's silage, that's silage. So there's a bunch of silage contracts. The one on the adjacent field to our farm is hay. There was a great demand, however. So potentially conditioned grass, no. Hay, no. Straw, no. Come on. Oh. What about whole crop silage? No. Grass silage? There could be clover hay. No. Those aren't available. Grass fresh? No. Oh, come on. Show me stuff. Carrots, filtered water, brewer's grain, molasses, beet pulp silage, no sell points, grass silage, no. Maize silage, no. So, no idea what the great demand at the hay sell point or the straw sell point there. Not seeing anything flagging itself with blue circles. Oh, there it is. Sugar beet cut, Bales Market. Big price. Fluctuations, that is, we're in September, so it's not a great price for beet pulp or sugar beet cut. And yet the best price is $3.74. They have a great demand, which is $3.81. That's a thing I can't do. But the grass silage, which is way down here somewhere. Grass silage is currently $2.66 best price, and September here. 248 is the minimum price. October we should be up to this price, so if I can make it to next month, then I'll get potentially a 20-30% boost in silage price, which is why I would prefer not to sell it on September 4. The only other thing to look at now is the weather. So we know 8 o'clock in the evening is when the rain comes, and that's it until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And September 4th has rain, but the rain could be, that is the rain for September 4th. We don't know, but if I get some contracts done this afternoon before 8 o'clock, we can definitely see our way into October before having to sell the silage, which is 90% done. But I think for now, we'll be back next week. Have a good week, and I will see you next week. But for right now, I'm out of here. Bye.